I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification. One day, right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is a faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discord of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, my country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. And so let freedom ring. From the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring. From the mighty mountains of New York, let freedom ring. From the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania, let freedom ring. From the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado, let freedom ring. From the curvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring. And when this happens, and when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
What's popping, y'all? Did you enjoy that speech? That's a speech that everyone seems to enjoy every February. Or anytime there's a conversation centered around race and they want people to know, well, Dr. King wouldn't want you to be judging people off of the color of their skin, but by the content of their character, right? People love to invoke early civil rights leaders when it comes to the race relations in America. But then you wake up in 2023 and you see the internet freaking out because characters are black or white. I've been sitting and thinking, rationalizing through things, removing my feelings, kind of checking my feelings at the door, because we can get very distorted by our biases and how we feel on subjects. I've been doing that. And I've been doing a lot of observing as well as participating in conversations. I don't understand how you can listen to a speech like that every Black History Month, or any time you feel it's convenient in a moment, in a situation where you need this speech to say, we are not supposed to be judging each other by the way we look. But then you turn around and judge situations based on how they look. Who knew a child's cartoon would set the internet on fire? Enough to get 15.7 million views. Why are people so triggered that Tinkerbell just so happens to be black? If race truly doesn't matter, and all we care about is the character of people. Why are you freaking out about Ariel if race truly doesn't matter and you don't see race? Why are we allowing surveys to divide two groups that are already more divided than ever? If we don't see race, why do we put race in everything? Why do you call yourself a black conservative? Why do you call yourself a white conservative? Why do we say black liberal? Why do we say white liberal? Why do we say any of these things? What does it matter? Is Tinkerbell being black going to change what's already going down in this country? Is it going to fix the divide between cops and civilians? Is it going to fix the divide, the obvious divide between the government and its people? Is it going to fix the divide between brothers, between daughters, mothers? Where are we going with this? Do you ever sit and think, what if my child heard me say, ugh, Tinkerbell's black? What if my daughters heard me say, why does this character have to be white? What if our children are listening to us get mad over silly things such as what race a fictional character is? What if we're doing more damage to our kids by even having these ridiculous conversations? Why do we need a poll that asks, is it okay to be black or white? And why would any sane person feel the need to answer that? Why are we doing all these things? I've yet to get an answer as to why any of these things matter. We're going to look through some of the comments on Twitter alone, and we'll go to my Facebook as well, just to look, not everybody putting negative comments is a bot. That's another thing conservatives love to do. Oh, it's a bot. It's not really, this is not really going on. It's a bot. People don't really talk like this. No one cares. No one really cares. These are bots, and they're here to divide you, to make you feel certain ways about whatever topics are trending. It's a bot. Black Tinkerbell, Black Little Mermaid, Black Cinderella, Brown Snow White. The blackwashing of white culture continues. Is it whitewashing biblical history when you typecast an all-white cast to depict Moses, Noah, their family, their lineage? Was it whitewashing? Did anybody care? I don't even remember anybody there was not any big uproar when Brandy's version of Cinderella came out. Nobody cared. Everybody thought the movie was cute. Nobody even paid attention to the fact that every single person in the movie was it was so diverse. Nobody cared about that in the 90s because it really, truly doesn't matter. It's not going to make or break any one of our situations. And honestly, we shouldn't care if our kids are watching green, purple, black, or white on the TV show. If it's educational, if it's playing with their imagination, and it's innocent and it's childlike, those should be the only things we truly care about. As long as there is no hidden subliminal messages trying to make my child more accepting or even open to the idea of being gay, or even open to the idea of their gender not existing, I don't care. If there's no sex scene, if there's no cursing, there's no obvious demonic message, or just if there's nothing going on, and the only difference in the show is that the races are different, what is your complaint really? Do you think your kid is going to say, man, Tinkerbell's white and they're wiping away white people? Do you really think children rationalize cartoons that way? Why do you want them to? Let them be innocent. They don't care about race. They don't even care about the ridiculous conversations we have about racism. They don't care. They love everybody. Unless you're a bad person, they don't want to be around you. And even then, children are still loving and accepting of even bad people. But what does any of this matter? It's not changing my situation. I'm repeating myself because what does it matter? What's the point of race swapping Tinkerbell? Disney already has a black fairy. They would have fleshed out the story with her and other fairies. Why is Disney so unwilling to create original stories with already established characters of color? Why does it matter? They have been redoing movies for years now. It's been a complaint amongst people who have enjoyed, I guess, movies, TV shows, books. They keep remaking the same they keep redoing it. But who cares if they swap the races? If you don't see race and racism is not an issue in this country, why do you care? It's no different than when black people get all bent out of shape and freak out because there's a person in the movie who doesn't exactly look at as what they would deem to be blackness, or wherever the movie takes place, right? It bothers them if the characters don't look right. And all of us with the brain say, dude, it's a movie. How do we know? How don't we know? Well, we don't know if this person was actually just the best person for the job. Maybe the black actor or the white actor or the Asian actor, maybe they were just the best actor or actress for the movie. But why do all these things matter? Did anybody watch Ariel? That's not even out yet. Did the movie change? Did the plot change? Was it the same? I can understand having a complaint of the plot of the movie changing and you inserting a social justice warrior storyline. That's a complaint. But if everything is the same in the movie, kind of like Aladdin, they did a real life version of Aladdin. The genie is white. Robin Williams, his character is white. Nobody freaked out when Will Smith played the genie because it didn't matter. He was the best actor for the job. So why do we care? Maybe there's an elephant in the room that people aren't willing to discuss. On either side. I think both sides feel very defensive and threatened. Now, do I agree with them feeling that way? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Depends on the situation. But most of you have the same complaint. And instead of sitting down and talking to each other to iron out what's wrong, we just want to complain at each other and accuse this person of doing this and you're doing this. And we get nowhere because nobody is sitting down to remove the emotions from the situation, to actually sit down and talk and ask, why does this bother you? What is the big deal? Because if it's, well, the hypocrisy and we're owning the left. You've been owning the left for how long now? Has anything changed in government, in your life, in your children's life, the school board, the city council? Has any of that changed? Peter Pan, race swapped. Tinkerbell, race swapped. Captain Hook, no, keep him as the white male, as the villain, as they are all evil in any case. Is that what's being depicted in this movie? Are they only trying to showcase blacks as thugs, hoochies, baby mamas, and degenerates because that's the movies that they're casted in? Or did they just fit the role and they played it well? You can't have it both ways. You got to pick a struggle. Substantiate this claim. Indian Peter Pan. Look, white folks, pay attention because your culture is to be chopped up and butchered into pieces and distributed to everyone. What about Peter Pan is white culture? What about Peter Pan is white culture? What is black culture? Anybody? What is black culture? I'll be waiting for some answers in the chat. It shouldn't matter. It's just confusing our kids. I agree. I think they feel it is virtue signaling. That's why people get upset. I personally could care less. I don't watch Disney. They're garbage. I think each side wants us to be upset so they can make money off our division. This is something I could agree with. I can agree with them wanting to make money off of division. In fact, they do these things to make money off of division. They get us in these stupid arguments to where we're going back and forth with each other, freaking out over fictional characters, man. These aren't even real people. And even in a situation like this, I remember in certain circles on social media and in your personal life, there were a lot of people who were upset about Russell Crowe being casted as Noah. But the people with half of a brain said, dude, it's a movie. Russell Crowe was the best actor. Why are you complicating this with race? We do the same thing with Jesus. Jesus is not a fictional character and neither is Noah. But there is no issue with how they are depicted. We understand it's stupid to argue about the race of Jesus. What's more important is to talk about the divinity of him, the message, the gospel, how to get people into heaven. We know how to turn this conversation off when it's convenient and then turn it right back on when it's convenient. If we don't do these things, and I'm going to keep bringing up a different example, if we don't do the stupid banter of Jesus is black or white, most people are like, I don't really care. I believe in Jesus. It doesn't matter what color he is. What matters is he died. He made the ultimate sacrifice for sinners to have a promise to achieve eternal life. Nobody cares. But you care about Tinkerbell. You care about Ariel. You have people labeling these things as white culture. I want you to listen to how you are separating something is Disney is perverted as it is. Disney's been doing disgusting things since I was little. This has been going back since The Lion King. They've been doing these things. But most parents will still allow their kids to watch Disney, right? Because it's a child's, they produce family and children content. What does any of that have to do with white culture? What happened to American culture? 2 to 3 years ago, we were telling people there's no real correlation to culture and race, right? But there is more of a you can draw more of a correlation to nationalism and culture. But there are subcultures that exist in every single racial group. We can't get around them. There's always a negative element. But why don't we all fall under the umbrella of what is American culture? Why are we now dividing and compartmentalizing? It's good to compartmentalize. It's good to be able to separate things, but you should be separating things that deserve separation, not this you are ruining white culture because you made Tinkerbell black. Tinkerbell was a fictional character. Was she even white, black, or Asian? She was a mythical being. She's not even real. What human flutters around with wings and is very miniature size? What human does that? I wish I had crickets. No human does that. So what culture is being stolen? Oops. I got all these things open. It won't let me play the video. Yeah, people are getting kicked off. I don't. It's probably because I played a Martin Luther King video. It's all good though. I'll post this and we'll keep it rocking. So this was a movie that came out when I was a kid. I believe I was probably about 7 or 8 when The Wonderful World of Disney put out this Cinderella story. And they have some of the biggest names in Hollywood at that time in this movie. Everyone loved Whitney Houston as the fairy godmother. No one cared that the original character was white. No one cared. Nobody cared that Prince Charming, he looked like he was of Asian descent. Nobody cared. Nobody cared that Brandy was black and she was Cinderella. They didn't care. So why are we caring now? What's wrong if a little black girl says, "Oh my God, there's a black Cinderella"? What is the big deal? We can't change the way parents raise their kids. If that mother is raising her kid to say, "Look, you're represented on the TV screen," what are we going to do about it? I cannot change that. But the public response, we can change. It makes no sense to get mad over these things. It makes no sense to label one racial group a hate group and then defend another racial group and say, well, they're not hateful, and you can't look at polls erroneously and depict these people this way. It's not fair on either side. You cannot use a poll that only surveyed 1,000 people to accurately depict white, blacks, Asians, or Hispanics in their thought patterns. You cannot. You cannot use examples of people fighting on social media as to what's happening in every black neighborhood. I've been hearing all of these conversations. What is happening to us? What is happening to the consistency? What is happening to common sense? What is happening to people critically thinking? You have Stu Peters. Shout out to Bryson. He brought this up. Stu Peters, who shared this video with zero context. He shared it as if this black girl was beating the crap out of this white girl because she was a bully, when in all actuality, it's two friends fighting. Two friends had a fight. Both of them swung on each other. Why do you view one as the aggressor and the other as the victim when they both were aggressors in a situation? Why is Stu Peters sharing divisive content like that? If I'm not okay with BLM negatively depicting whites, why would I be okay with conservatives negatively depicting blacks? At some point, we have to show some consistency. At some point, you have to turn off the feelings. At some point, you have to grow up and be able to sit across from somebody that you don't necessarily agree with and just talk to them. At some point, we're going to have to all do this, because sitting in echo chambers with people who think just like you, it's boring, it's lame, and it doesn't allow growth. You should be forever evolving and taking in information to make yourself better. It's the point of all this. Point of all this is not to pick a side unless it's picking the side of Jesus. Like, look, the left and the right, dude, they're both partaking in evil behaviors. Both groups have taken advantage of Americans and taken away your rights. You guys not remember what happened after 9/11? The Patriot Act? That was Republican administration taking away your rights to privacy as an American. That wasn't just Democrat and liberal legislation. I just wish we would be better than the other side. We do so much talking down about what the other side does, about they don't read, they don't research, they get on the internet and mill about their feelings. And now we're watching it happen on this side. You guys are partaking in the same behavior. People got mad at me for posting this. I said, you know what? I'm done. Clearly, I'm being sarcastic. I'm done. Black people can now have the same complaints as white people, freaking out over Tinkerbell and Ariel. That is not what Jesus looked like. It's not. Jesus also was not walking around, in my opinion, looking like the modern day black man in America. Maybe the same skin tone, maybe, but I'm sure there were some features in him that didn't necessarily look black, what we deem black or white. Look at some of these comments. Is she trans too or just gay? Seems like Disney doesn't learn from its mistakes. Who cares if she's black or not? Don't think it's going to make any difference. I agree with that. I'm guessing because they are making another cartoon character, black folks are upset. Look. It shows up twice on my page because I have Instagram set up to post on Facebook, if you guys are wondering. But this one got the most interactions. This comment I found to be, I don't know. I just found it to be slightly just off-putting. How many characters do you need to change for equality? We already have equality. We're not fighting for equality. Why can't this girl just be the best actress for the freaking job? It's getting a little ridiculous. I don't watch Disney shit anyway, but come on. And you have, bro, hold on. Let me pull all these up. Hold up, hold up, hold up. I wish I could find that comment. It was a really good comment. He had wrote that he wanted to play devil's advocate in this situation, and he said, this is what I just want to show how some people are. They're a lot of people are influenced and driven by what they see now, but they can't recollect what was happening before. But he had brought up that Disney's never made any other character swapping, race swapping characters before, and this is an agenda to do da 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 da. I'm like, I put this in the chat. Did you forget about Cinderella? And when I put this in the chat, the chat ceased. There is no more conversation going on. Why? Who cares? It's a fictional character. Like, who cares? I wish I could see his comment. It's bothering me. Uh-oh. Somebody messaged me. Okay, babe. Sorry, guys. And mind you, Peter Pan was written by a Scottish author, Sir J.M. Barrie, 1904. Let me say this, because this is something that a lot of people will say when it comes to blacks and reparations, right? They'll say, well, how do you even know that is your that is your actual background? That's where you came from. How do y'all not know that this girl may have some Scottish descent, right? I'm playing devil's advocate here because I'm trying to cover all facets of this argument. Because someone has black skin does not mean that they're not representative of any other cultures in America. I'm a mutt, literally. My children are mutts. They got German, French, Native American, Black, Irish, other forms of Indian tribes, Chickasaw, Choctaw. They're mutts. They're literally, I don't want to call them mutts. What should I call them? They're the definition of America's already known title, which is a melting pot. We are all something, and I'll end on this note. We don't even know this girl. We haven't seen the movie, and we are already having a negative reaction because she is not what we deem she should look like, because a fictional character started out white. So because she doesn't look the part, let's let her know that we are not pleased with the fact that you are black and playing this role. No different than when black people do it to white people. I don't like the fact that you are white and playing this role. We have to stop this, man. It doesn't look good on conservatives to sit and whine and gripe about something as dumb as Tinkerbell or Ariel. It's not very becoming of conservatives as well to walk around and push false narratives about a good portion of Americans in this country that just so happen to be black. I know BLM spread across the globe. Forget the nation. But do you know how many people have decided to drop BLM because of what Candace Owens put in a documentary? Do you know how many black people sit at the dinner table or in conversations with their families talking about how corrupt the BLM organization is? Do you know how many black people reject that entire ideology? You know how many white people reject the Ku Klux Klan ideology, the white supremacist ideology? Amazing people on both sides in majority numbers. But we want to play this stupid, dangerous fucking game of race and pitting each other against each other because we are looking at the lowest common denominator on both sides. We are allowing the ignorance, the criminals, the baby mamas, the baby daddies, we're allowing them to have the stage to speak for us. Whites, you are allowing the white liberal and the ignorant white people to speak for you. And because we sit silent on certain issues and we don't want to ruffle feathers, we have to sit and deal with the fallout and not get sensitive or bothered about the ridiculousness that's going on the internet and things that are being said. I refuse to sit around and have these conversations. You should think about what you say. I've got 3 kids. I know a lot of you have children. Imagine your child hearing you get angry about Tinkerbell being white. Think about that. When you're complaining about Ariel and Disney, all these things that you claim you don't even watch, so you really shouldn't even have a damn opinion on it because you don't watch it, you don't support it. All these kids that are on the internet and they're seeing conversations like this on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok. How do you think this generation of children is going to grow up when this is what's on the internet in mass numbers? How do you think little white kids and little black kids will view each other in 10 years? Blackwashing? I hope you guys think about all these things that I brought up here today. I have to get off here because I have a meeting to get to. But I hope you guys think about what I said here today. I hope you pay attention to the conversations you're having around your children. I hope you pay attention to the things that they hear in the background when you watch certain videos. And I hope you're mindful of what you're leaving behind to other generations to inherit. I hope you think about all these things, and next time you freak out over a character being black or white. I hope you think about these things. Because if not, you can forget about this kumbaya and black people are going to join together and white people are going to join together. That shit's not going to happen. I don't have an outro because I just came up here to run my mouth. So peace out. Please share this live. Share it on YouTube. Share it on Facebook.